After the Second World War, a unique new international organization, the United Nations Organization, was founded on the 24th of October, 1945. By signing the United Nations Charter, 51 countries made a commitment to maintaining international peace and security, developing friendly relations among nations, and promoting social progress, better living conditions, and human rights. For newly independent states, admittance to the United Nations signifies international recognition of both their sovereignty and their status as independent subjects of international law and international relations. Almost immediately following the declaration of independence of the Republic of Kazakhstan on the 18th of December, Akmaral Arastanbekova, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, was sent by President Nazarbayev to New York to begin preparations for Kazakhstan's entry into the United Nations.
The UN procedure for becoming a new member state is as follows. Any state which desires to become a member of the United Nations is required to submit an application to the Secretary-General and a formal declaration stating that it accepts all obligations contained in the UN Charter. The Secretary-General submits the application for consideration to the Security Council, and if the Council supports the admission, the application is then presented to the General Assembly for consideration. Membership becomes effective on the date the resolution for admission is adopted. By the UN General Assembly plenary meeting resolution of the 2nd of March 1992, the Republic of Kazakhstan was accepted for membership of the United Nations. Kazakhstan became the 168th member of the UN organization.
The membership of the United Nations has more than tripled since its founding in 1945. This steady expansion of member states show that all countries, big and small, rich and poor, look towards membership of the organizations as an important goal for a free and independent state. It gives me a great pleasure to congratulate our 9 new member states and to welcome them once again on behalf of our entire membership. We are now 175 strong and growing. The flag of the Republic of Kazakhstan should now be raised.
On that historic day, the UN became a guarantor of the independence of this new state and an international platform for our young country.
Уважаемый господин председатель,
At the preceding session, the Republic of Kazakhstan was unanimously admitted as a member of the United Nations. On behalf of the people of Kazakhstan, I have the honor to express our deep gratitude for that action and to declare that the Republic of Kazakhstan, as a peace-loving state, is fully capable of fulfilling its obligations as defined in the Charter of the United Nations and of making a constructive contribution in all the spheres of activity of this authoritative international organization. The current session is no less important for us, since during this session the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan has, for the first time, been given the opportunity to speak from this rostrum. I take this opportunity to extend cordial greetings to all the member states of the United Nations.
In 1992, in his first speech in the UN, President Nursultan Nazarbayev specified activities for Kazakhstan within the UN, and currently these are actively and purposefully being implemented.
The second aspect on which I should like to focus is the issue of peace and security in our continent of Asia, or, more broadly, in Eurasia. I am referring to the proposal put forward by the Republic of Kazakhstan to hold a conference on interaction and confidence-building measures in Asia. The notion of establishing structures for security and cooperation in Asia of the same type as the Conference on Security and Cooperation in Europe has long been mooted, but has not yet gained wide support.
Commitment to the Conference on Interaction and Confidence-Building Measures in Asia is one of Kazakhstan's foreign policy priorities. The first ministerial meeting, held in Almaty on the 14th of September 1999, laid the foundation of the CICA with the signing of the Declaration of the Principles Guiding Relations between the CICA member states and the ministers. The Almaty Act, the charter of the CICA, was adopted at the first summit held in Almaty on June 4, 2002. These two documents became stepping stones for the future evolution of the CICA. Following its inception, within a short span of only 10 years, organization has become a fully functioning forum for dialogue and for seeking mutually acceptable measures for resolving problems and conflicts in the region. 16 Asian states joined the forum at that time of its inception, and currently there are 24 member states, which together account for nearly 90% of the territory and population of Asia. 8 countries and 3 multinational organizations, including the United Nations, hold observer status. At the Astana OSCE Summit in December of 2010, President Nazarbayev put forward a proposal to establish closer relations between the Conference on Interaction and Confidence-Building Measures in Asia and the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe as a North-South axis, in order to build confidence, integration, in an ambitious new security system spanning the entire Eurasian continent as bounded by the 4 oceans. Kazakhstan's role as chair of the OSCE in 2010 and the fact that the OSCE summit was held in the heart of Eurasia show that Kazakhstan is committed to the idea of trans-Eurasian integration.
It is appropriate to recall here the Oriental story which tells of some people who held a contest of strength. One showed the power of his muscles and fists, another found strength in the hardness of his skull, a third one in his fleetness of foot, and the fourth one in the sharpness of his tongue. But one wise man, remembering that no strength is possible without the heart, suggested that they should compete in generosity. The generosity of each country will be what determines the degree to which my proposal is implemented, a sort of competition for the benefit of the whole world. The Republic of Kazakhstan is ready to begin this process immediately.
The historic decisions taken by the President of Kazakhstan concerning the closure of Semipalatinsk nuclear test site, voluntary renunciation of the world's 4th largest nuclear and missile arsenal, and joining the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons were regarded by the UN as among the most important initiatives towards strengthening the non-proliferation movement and promoting international stability. In recognition of the efforts of Kazakhstan and its contribution to the strengthening of global stability, the United Nations General Assembly declared the 29th of August the International Day Against Nuclear Tests.
A sobering experience for me to stand on the ground zero where so many nuclear tests were conducted. I was told 456 nuclear tests were conducted here, with a terrible effect on human lives and environmental consequences. We should not repeat this kind of legacy. This is an awful legacy, and in that regard, I highly commend the extraordinary leadership of President Nazarbayev of Kazakhstan, who courageously closed this nuclear test site and initiated a nuclear weapon-free zone in Central Asia. That's a big milestone.
The decision on closing the Semipalatinsk nuclear test site and the abandonment of the most powerful nuclear arsenal, our country has reached well-deserved trust by the world community. At the Global Summit on Nuclear Security in Washington, D.C. in 2010, President Nazarbayev made a statement on necessity of updating the comprehensive prohibition and the creation of the International Bank for Nuclear Fuel under IAEA auspices.
Lastly, I should like to discuss the vitally important issues of ecology and environmental protection. For Kazakhstan, these issues are embodied in at least two areas, the Aral Sea and Semipalatinsk. The Aral Sea drying up. This is an ecological catastrophe that demands large-scale international emergency assistance. The desertification of the Aral Basin, conjunction with the dispersion of 150 million tons of salt-laden dust, is causing drastic deterioration of the environment, which in turn is negatively affecting the economy and people's health across a vast region with a population of more than 3 million. If today this means tragedy for tens of thousands of people, tomorrow, without emergency intervention by the United Nations, it could mean tragedy for millions. Today, instead of the Aral Sea, instead of 63,000 square kilometers of water, we have almost 60,000 square kilometers of desert. Local people call it the Aral Kum. The UN is the most important political organization in the world, and it is playing a major role in saving the Aral Sea. This organization is focusing a lot of attention on our problems. In particular, we have established close cooperation and collaboration with such UN agencies as the Economic Commission for Europe and the Center for Preventive Diplomacy in Ashgabat. We signed a long-term memorandum of understanding on the basis of which we have been working together on integrated water resources management over the past 3 years.
The World Bank, together with the Environment Program and the government of Kazakhstan, has developed an international program for environmental rehabilitation of the Aral Sea Basin. $85 million have been allocated for a project to restore the northern Aral Sea. Following the construction of the Kokoral Dam through this project, completed in August 2001, the water level in the northern Aral Sea has risen by 3 meters. The 17-kilometer-long Kokoral Dam has helped to fill 870 square kilometers of desertified lakebed with water. The northern Aral Sea is only 1/3 of the slowly disappearing Aral Sea.
The Asia we live in is a remarkable land. All the major religions of the world, Judaism, Buddhism, Christianity and Islam, were born on the sacred soil of our continent. All the spiritual teachers of mankind, reigning from Lao Tzu and Gautama Buddha, Jesus Christ and Muhammad, to great contemporary thinkers of the caliber of Mahatma Gandhi, were born in our part of the world. Is it not possible for Asia to absorb everything that has been accumulated over the ages and synthesize a new concept of continental cooperation and collective security?
Recognizing that open intercultural and interreligious dialogue contributes to peace and security, our country initiated the idea of holding a Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions, which took place in 2003, 2006, and 2009. The next Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions will be held in May 2012. Current sectarian problems and their resolution, as well as opportunities to strengthen mutual understanding and tolerance between people of different faiths, will be discussed.
Over the 20 years of its UN membership, Kazakhstan has become successfully integrated into the international community. Kazakhstan has been consistently and purposefully implementing the ideas and initiatives put forward by the President of Kazakhstan in his first speech at the 46th session of the General Assembly of the United Nations. These initiatives cover a broad range of fundamental issues, including security, sustainable development, protection of the environment, and promotion of human rights. We have proved to be consistent and responsible members of the Organization of the United Nations, and that's why we are recognized, we are listened to, and we are respected.
The UN agencies, programs, and funds presented in Kazakhstan have been working in accordance with the goals outlined in the Millennium Declaration that was signed by world leaders, including President Nazarbayev, in New York in September 2000. This declaration sets specific and measurable indicators called Millennium Development Goals for states to achieve in an effort to improve the lives of millions of people by 2015.
So the United Nations opened its first office in Kazakhstan in 1993, early 1993, just shortly after Kazakhstan became a member state of the UN as an independent country, and has been working intensively with many agencies. Today, in 2012, we have 17 different UN agencies working in Kazakhstan. There's about 300 staff of the UN. Over the years, the UN has found, there's some work to do in the country, but they found that Kazakhstan, and Almaty in particular, is an excellent regional center. In that context, Kazakhstan has, in its very short time as an independent country, established itself as a quite well-known actor in regional and global affairs. I think in the region, Kazakhstan has taken a very firm position as one of the essential keys to stability and socioeconomic development of Central Asia. And this is very important in the UN and for the world because this is a region that has gone through tremendous transitions in the last 20 years. Our dialogue between the UN and officials in Kazakhstan is very much focused now, looking to the future, on this sustainable development and focusing especially on the social side of that. And we have a UN Development Assistance Framework, which is our basic 5-year plan, and it's agreed with the government and to cooperate together among ourselves toward supporting government goals in developing.
Конечно же, на заре нашей независимости, когда казахстанская экономика была не такая развитая, как сегодня, когда уровень жизни населения
Of course, at the dawn of our independence, when Kazakhstan's economy was not as developed as it is today, and standards of living were low in the country, UN advisory and sometimes financial assistance aided us in overcoming the challenges we faced in the first years of independence following the collapse of the Soviet Union. Today, we are gradually moving from the category of recipients of international aid to the category of donors. Wherever possible, we try to provide assistance to less developed countries, especially those that are located very close to us. For example, we provide assistance to Afghanistan. We also provide assistance to some other countries of Central Asia, and we intend to continue to develop activities in this direction. Our cooperation with the UN is now entering a new phase in which the UN views us as a partner working with the organization to solve major global and regional problems.
Который помогает этой организации решать крупные глобальные мировые проблемы.
Since entry into the UN, Kazakhstan has actively participated in all of its major events and hosted a number of major international forums under its auspices, such as the first UN International Ministerial Conference of Landlocked and Transit Developing Countries, the 63rd session of the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, The WHO International Conference dedicated to the 30th anniversary of the Almaty Declaration on Primary Health Care, the 18th session of the General Assembly of World Tourism Organization, and the 6th Ministerial Conference on Environment and Development in Asia and the Pacific. Kazakhstan is currently a candidate for non-permanent membership of the United Nations Security Council in the period of 2017 to 2018.
Your Excellency, President Nursultan Nazarbayev, people of Kazakhstan, I am pleased to offer my warmest congratulations on this wonderful celebration of the 20th anniversary of Kazakhstan joining the United Nations. This is a time to celebrate Kazakhstan's accomplishments over the past 2 decades. Kazakhstan has been a leader on disarmament. I will never forget my visit to Semipalatinsk. Kazakhstan transformed Semey from a site of destruction into a symbol of hope for a nuclear weapon-free world. Kazakhstan is also promoting international understanding through regional diplomacy, dialogue among different peoples, and cooperation with the United Nations. Kazakhstan has already reached a number of the Millennium Development Goals to end poverty, hunger, and disease. Now, the United Nations and Kazakhstan are working together to reach the MDG Plus targets and keep our promise to the Kazakh people. I hope in the years to come you will continue to advance. Now is the time for all governments to listen to the voices of their people, safeguard human rights, consolidate democracy, and build a better future. I count on Kazakhstan to continue making improvements at home and making a difference in our world. Thank you.
Kazakhstan believes that the United Nations is in demand today more than ever before, and there is no alternative organization in the world. Only under the auspices of this worldwide organization can humanity find effective, collective responses to global challenges.